Corinne L. Brown, LCSW. I have a Bachelor of Social Work, a Master of Social Work, and I'm currently halfway through my PhD in Social Work.
Okay. In general, what kind of clients do you work with?
I work with clients ages 4 to 18.
In your opinion, what is the hardest part of being in the child welfare aspect of human service work?
I think the hardest thing is understanding exactly where the child is coming from, because usually there's a lot of environmental factors that affect their mood and things like that.
Which type of client, if any, do you feel is the hardest to work with?
The foster care agencies are sometimes difficult to work with, especially if they're trying to place a child back to a biological parent that's in a different state, so jurisdictions can get hard. And also, for me personally, working with clients that have borderline traits can be difficult to work with, just because of the diagnosis in itself can be draining, because I haven't had too much training in it, but those are the two that I find most difficult.
What is the best part of your job?
I love being a social worker. I love helping the kids and their families. The best part of my job is seeing someone progress, whether it's through therapy or, outside, whether it be that they graduate high school or get their GED or they achieve something that they set as a personal goal. Those are all things that are very important, and that's the best aspect of my job.
And what's the hardest or the worst part of your job?
The hardest part of my job is when I have to call an agency to intervene, when I can no longer be of assistance, basically. And what I mean by that is basically the intervention of ACS into a family. That's the hardest thing for me to do so far. A lot of times calling ACS, although is the ethical intervention and the way to keep the child safe, it can break trust with a family. It can break trust with a client. Sometimes children don't understand why you had contacted ACS. They get upset. The family gets upset. And sometimes, unfortunately, there's nothing that ACS could do in certain cases. So you just basically ruined a therapeutic relationship, and nothing could be done in order to assist the child or family any further.
How do you feel about putting kids in the system? Do you feel that it's helpful or more harmful?
I think it depends. It goes on a case-by-case basis. Some children thrive when they're put into a foster setting or getting adopted, because sometimes families can't take care of the child or want a different life for the child. So I think it goes on a case-by-case basis, in my opinion.
Do you think that all caseworkers always have the best interest of the client in mind?
I would like to believe that every person working in this field has the best interest of the child at heart. In my experience, I haven't run into anybody that hasn't, but I do know that certain cases in the media where a child wasn't seen by an ACS worker, I think certain agencies are so overwhelmed they might need to revamp, add more staffing, things like that, but then that goes into funding and where money comes from, and that's where social workers need to step up and change policies and work within those confines, because it is a growing problem and they need more workers in order to assist all the children that need help.
Well, when it's all said and done, what is your essential goal?
My essential goal as a social worker overall, even, regardless of the clinic that I work at, is to assist a child in reaching their goals, and just moving forward and making progress on whatever they feel is what is important to them. And I've seen a lot of children. I've worked in this agency for 4 years, and I've seen a lot of them reach their personal goals. I've seen a lot of them make progress, and I've seen a lot of the families make progress just by being in treatment and coming and speaking to me or the other therapists that work here. It's just hearing maybe the opinions or ideas of someone else, or that someone else cares, that is able to help them through crises or trauma or anything like that.